A friend of mine's got a clothing company that's like tops for girls to wear. That's designed to
with nipples in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
I think Kim Kardashian's just done it. I don't really need any help with that sort of thing. It's mine out of control.
Straight into it. I'm going to do the intro, okay?
Every week.
Oh, no, you should do it because
All right, fine.
you're on there.
Welcome back to another episode of Private Parts with me, Liv Bentley.
And me, Tom Lucy. This is the podcast where nothing is off limits.
Each week, we will reveal the most intimate and sordid details of our lives from our diaries. Nailed it.
Nailed it. You're worried about your nipples showing on the cameras?
I don't know why I bother saying anything, because he said it straight away. Yes, I am slightly concerned about that. I'm worried about that. I'm slightly worried about my fat stomach. So I've got the pillow there, covering up the nipples.
Your body language is what I would describe as negative.
Rude. What do you mean?
Well, look at you, you're like hiding behind things.
Do you know the honest truth? I'm a little bit hungover, Tom.
It's not a massive surprise to our listeners.
No, don't say that.
But this body language would suggest that we're in some sort of abusive relationship. If somebody was to analyse our body language right now, they'd have a field day.
I think it would be worse if we were if it was a good thing. We're both in relationships.
No, but you don't normally sit and record like covered in pillows.
Listen, it's for comfort. It's resting my arms on there. This is for my nipples.
Are you feeling a little bit fragile?
No, you know what? I'm actually not. I actually feel fine. It's hot. It does get hot in this room.
It does get hot.
But my top, anyway, it was.
You know what's good for heat is covering yourself in pillows.
Listen, I just feel a bit fat today, so I'm just covering it up with a fucking pillow.
Listen,
that's what it is.
For a man, that's an absolute minefield of a statement. So we're not going to go
You don't
anywhere.
want to talk about
I'm not going to go anywhere near that. How are you?
I'm good. It's been a good week.
Have you had a stressful week?
Finally, about all.
You came in with a bit of like stressed energy today. We're worried about you. We've all been talking about it.
Shut the fuck up. You're so full
We have
of
a
shit.
separate WhatsApp group where we're
What
concerned.
do you mean? I'm
You
chilled.
just seem tense today. You seem a little tense.
It's just been a long week, if I'm totally honest with you.
You having a I'm ugly day?
Yeah, I am. Oh, how do you know about those? What do you
I've
mean?
got a girlfriend.
I thought you were about to say I have those days. Why do girls have? You don't get it. Though. Girls do have that. Your hair looks a bit shit. Your makeup doesn't look great. You slightly dry skin.
It just happens, doesn't it? It's the same with my girlfriend. She'll just occasionally wake up and
just things are a bit bum out. But
you can just tell that we're going to have one of those days where
I
she
can't
hates
imagine
herself.
it does much for you though. Like, what do you?
What do I get out of it?
You run, don't you? You don't hang around.
I don't
the house.
run. No, I'm very supportive and.
But what? No, I highly doubt that.
What do you
Boys
think I
just
do? Just
don't
run?
get it. Some days girls can wake up feeling a bit grumpy, a bit
What is
moody,
that?
a bit hormonal.
Is it
It's
called a period?
hormones. It's called hormones. And yes, it's a period. So 3 to 5 working days. You can seem to.
So you're having one of those days.
I'm
today.
not hormonal though, actually.
Well, maybe that will be good for our female listeners because it shows a different side to you, right? You can't always be up and bubbly and fun and exciting to be around.
You're just a knob.
I think it's nice to have different sides.
You really like to sort of show it all up on it, don't you? You show off in front of all the listeners. Don't you?
Listen, we've got a great question come in, which I think you're going to like. It says, "Hi guys, I love the podcast and the London chat. I'm moving to London from Australia in December and was wondering if you have any do's and don'ts for living in London. Also, any suggestions for places to move?
Number
would be
one,
great."
don't have your phone out in the public. Just if you leave your house, put your phone in your pocket. Let's just give some warnings here.
Do you want to start with the negatives?
Let's start. Let's start with the negatives. It's pretty expensive.
She sounds quite excited about moving here, so let's not dampen it too much. There's a lot of
you've got
hearts
to
and kisses in that mess.
give a few warnings about things.
Okay,
it's
so
a very dangerous city.
Yeah.
Easy on the tube late at night.
Okay, let's focus on the bad things first. So what?
It is pretty expensive at the moment. People, there's a lot of theft.
Yeah.
Government's a little bit questionable.
Somebody tried to break through my flat the other day with a crowbar.
Again?
No, the same flat that got broken into last year. Somebody tried to get in again with a crowbar.
Were you in the flat this time?
No, there's someone else living
Do you
there
see what
now.
I mean? How can you put London in a good light at this point?
Well, I think that would happen in any big city. She's moving from Australia, so I'm assuming Australia has crime and things as well.
Yeah, but I don't think the way England does. London
Really?
does. Yeah, no.
Australia is where we sent our criminals, isn't it? Famously. I don't know if we're allowed to say that. But that is sort of where crime started, really, Australia.
Well,
I might get in trouble for that.
I think you probably
Anyway,
will.
thanks for sending your message in. So don't have your phone out in public.
if you realistically think about it, London is quite a friend. I told you this the other day. A friend of mine came from Australia. Not a friend of mine. Friend of my housemates came from Australia. He's 19 years old. First night out in London. They obviously drugged him, mugged him.
Drugged and mugged.
Drugged and mugged.
The old drug and mug.
The old drug and mug. And took everything. It was his first night ever being in London. Night one. He woke up on the streets of Soho. Shocking.
And he's from Australia?
Yeah.
Wow.
On his
Is that like an
yacht.
initiation thing for people who move to
What,
London?
the English start attacking people? Do you really want to hang around now?
I also don't think that's not like... that doesn't have to happen to you when you move to London.
No, but what I'm saying is London is a lot bit more dodgier than it was.
Do you think? Do you think it's got worse?
We had that pervert in Fulham, riding around on his bicycle, shouting at women who'd leaving gym classes late at night.
Okay, so don't go on your phone. Are you one of those... Because what I've started doing, if I have my phone out on the street, is I'll like hold the top of it as well.
Yeah, but we all look like weirdos, don't we? Like really grasping it.
Or you can get one of those cases that goes round your neck. But
No,
then if they try
no,
and
but
take
that's another one that
they'll
happened.
rip your head off.
That happened to another girl the other day. Ripped the thing off her hand.
That's really dangerous.
Yes, it is quite dangerous.
Okay, so what else is bad about London?
What else?
You know, I had a friend who moved to London and got some advice from someone that he should carry 2 wallets with him all the time. Has anyone heard this?
No.
So if they ever get mugged and they say, give me your wallet, you give them the fake wallet, not your real wallet. And the fake wallet just has like cards in it that don't work.
I'm not being funny, but we're at a point where people aren't even asking. They're just mugging. They don't give a fuck how many wallets you got.
It's quite a polite mugging, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can I have your wallet, please?
That's not how it happens now.
Yeah, but I also think what would happen is they'd take the fake wallet, they'd open it and they'd go, this is clearly not your wallet. Where's your real wallet? By that point, they're more angry. So I
I'm
don't
just
think that
trying to
works.
imagine if this sort of a mugging has taken longer than 5 minutes. It's over before it's started. Do you know what I mean? They're just standing there out.
Would you ever carry a fake anything?
Yeah, my handbags are fake.
Have you ever been mugged?
No.
You've never been
No,
mugged?
but when I lived with Ollie and Gareth,
Here we go. Here we fucking go.
it got to 3 a.m.
Let's
and
get into some gossip now.
I heard some like really odd noises, not like sexual noises, just strange noises. Anyway, actually I don't know why it would be sexual. I went downstairs.
What, with those two, you mean?
Yeah, with those. I went downstairs and the police were there. And what happened was, they had been spotted leaving, I think, a club on the King's Road, got into a black cab, which was obviously followed by something else. They'd got to their flat, and the cab driver said, I would prefer cash, if that's all right. So Ollie goes in upstairs to go and get the cash, and Gareth's waiting downstairs, or the other way around. Anyway, these 2 blokes go in there, get a knife out, and threaten to stab him if they don't hand the watch over.
What?
Yeah.
Cab drivers?
No, it was just 2 other random blokes.
Oh,
But
that
they
they-
think the cab driver was in on it, because the second he saw it all happening, he sped off.
Well, do you know what? I've heard a very similar story. I think there are some cab drivers who
But-
are involved in this thing, because I know someone who came out of a restaurant in Mayfair.
Oh, this has happened quite... is this a recent thing, outside Annabelle's?
Maybe. It
This has
might,
happened to a lot of
have
people.
happened a lot, but they came out of a restaurant in Mayfair. They had an expensive watch on. They got into a black cab and said, can you take me home, wherever they're... It was the home was quite far away.
Yeah.
When they got out at home, like 40 minutes later, they were walking up to their front door, and these 2 guys who had followed them from Mayfair
Yeah.
jumped out and stole the watch.
Yes, it's
But I think
savage.
the cab driver...
But that's really
they're in
bad
on
of
it.
black cab drivers, because you would assume they're like the ones... They're the ones who always slate Uber saying they're the dodgy ones, but you'd never think that with a black cab driver, surely.
You would trust a black cab driver over an Uber driver, wouldn't you?
100%.
So what are we saying? Don't trust anyone.
So basically, don't...
Line bikes.
well, with people like me driving on the road, you've got to be careful
Actually,
on
you shouldn't
those.
be on line bikes. But you don't really use public transport, do you? You're quite on Uber a lot. What's your rating on Uber?
I don't know. It's probably quite
can we
high.
check?
Yeah? How do you see what...
Go on your... I can check for you.
I didn't realise you can see also how many Deliveroos you've ever had.
Well, let's check that as well.
shocking. I don't know how I see it. Account 4.50.
That's not bad, is it?
Is that quite good?
4.5?
Could be better.
What are you? 4.88. 4.88, that's high. I don't have my phone with me.
Goody two shoes over there.
Do you ever get do they ever review you and write anything, or they just star you?
No, I get really nice ones. They let me smoke in the back sometimes after a night out. Yes, they're really... They're quite,
Smoke
actually,
in the back of their Uber?
I've smoked in the back of a black cab once.
I love that.
Just head
Was it one of the ones who was part of a crime gang?
Yeah, he then did mug me afterwards.
Yeah, and then he took everything you had.
But yeah.
Okay, so any other practical bits of advice for London?
I don't really...
Where would you suggest that this person moves to?
Clapham, I would say.
Are you just saying that because they're Australian?
No, but Clapham's a nice area. It's not ridiculously expensive.
Why is everyone laughing at Clapham?
Is
Full
it?
of
Oh, is it
Australians,
actually? I actually didn't know that.
You racist?
Is it full of... How would I
What are you
fucking know? I
suggesting?
barely
that
leave...
we
the-
put all the Australians in one place?
Yeah.
Segregation.
No, but
is
if
what
I was
live
moving
on.
to London, I would look in that area. Battersea, Clapham, Fulham... Probably not Fulham.
Because
Anywhere around there. I wouldn't go, well, I don't know, it depends what sort of person you are. Like, I couldn't see myself ever living in Shoreditch.
No.
Because I'm not fucking edgy. Am I?
No.
What about tourist traps? You like those
Tourist traps, yeah.
Those fucking bicycle things that I have drunkenly taken when I can't find a cab at the end of the
Oh,
night.
you mean a rickshaw?
That's the one. And a fortune. That is a tourist.
It's a real. What they do is they hang out. They wait around outside sort of clubs in the West End, and when drunk people come out and they can't get taxis, they're like, "Oh, it'll be really fun. Let's get on a
£300
rickshaw."
back to Fulham.
Yeah,
Freezing cold.
and they're fucking blasting
They're-
levels by Avicii while the meter's ticking up. It's a horrific experience.
It's horrific.
Yeah, well, it's like an epileptic nightmare as well, and that everything flashes neon.
And after you've had a big night, it's just not the one.
Yeah.
Trying to think what
to
other
avoid, I don't know if they have Rick. Those things are probably all over the world, aren't they? Those.
Yeah, but
sort
they're
of-
probably not loitering outside some rogue club in Mayfair.
I think if you can, just try and avoid like. I always use Leicester Square as an example of the worst place to go. Every time I've been to Leicester Square, I'm like, this is probably the worst bit of London, isn't it?
It's just a bit much.
It's just so busy.
It's so intense.
All the restaurants are terrible.
Actually, I found myself going into the M&M world there the other day.
Did
Don't know,
you?
I don't know
The
why.
other day.
No, I say the other day. Whenever I say the other day, it means about 2 years ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was with an ex of mine and went to go get loads of M&Ms. It's just full of all these American sweet shops.
that when you
it
broke
was
up?
horrific. I could barely walk.
When
Like,
you find yourself going into M&M world,
Yeah.
it's sort of the end, isn't it?
yeah, that'll
Queuing with
do
all the
it.
other children. The only reason I would hang out around that area is because, like,
When you've been to the premieres.
yeah, when I'm at the premieres, I'm normally hanging around there. The comedy store is like opposite M&M world.
I've never been.
You never been to the comedy
No.
store? Well, I'll take you. But it's opposite the M&M world, so that's the only time I've sort of used to walk past that a lot and be like, who the fuck goes into M&M world?
Me.
Now I know.
Fatty over here.
Yeah.
On a hangover, choking back some M&Ms.
Filling up your bucket.
There's a reason those are tourist traps. People like them.
Do they though? I sometimes worry. I don't really worry. That's a strong word. But when tourists visit London and their experience of London is Oxford Street, they must leave thinking
And Big Ben.
London's quite shit, isn't it? But actually, they're just going to the shit bit. You know,
Okay, what would you say the best bit is?
You could very easily come to London and have a bad experience and leave going, I don't really get why people like London. I suppose that's true of all cities.
Yeah.
But it would be like going to New York and only going to Times Square.
But then maybe it depends on the time of year. Like New York at Christmas, I'm sure would be unbelievable. Wouldn't it? Like London at Christmas time, I think it is amazing. Like actually in saying that, when you go down Oxford Street and they've got all the lights, like that, it is
It's
pretty
better,
incredible.
yeah. On a
I much
rickshaw.
prefer- on a rickshaw, freezing your tits off, trying to light a fag.
Okay, so move to Clapham.
Move to Clapham.
No other advice?
Why do some men shave their legs? I think it's.
Are you looking at my legs
Yeah,
when
I
you said
was.
that?
No, I don't think you should shave them. But what is that about?
I think they do it for cycling. I think some men like cycling and they shave their legs for cycling.
Got you.
I think they do it for mental health reasons.
What? Because they got hairy legs.
No, I think it's like some men do it for like vanity. They like the look of like a friend of ours. I'm sure I can say his name. Spencer Matthews. He shaves his legs.
Does he?
Yeah, he's not a cyclist.
He's a runner.
He shaves his. Apparently, what he says is he shaves his body completely from the neck down.
How much hair has he got?
I don't know, but that sounds like a big job. A shaved leg would be a turn off, right, on a man?
For me personally,
Yeah. I think for most women it would be.
But then I'm not a huge fan of like hairy chests.
At all. Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Do you make shave his chest?
He doesn't have a hairy chest.
Does he not? At all? Interesting. What about legs?
He doesn't shave his legs, no? He does
Yeah.
shave his underarms.
He does.
No, I'm just fucking joking. Of course he
That's
does.
all right. You can shave
What
his
shaves
underarms.
nothing but his underarms?
The problem with shaving your legs is you've got to like get it under the ankle tag, or you pull it up and you
Fuck's
shave
sake.
underneath it, and then you push the tag down. It's tricky. Oh, here's some good advice for moving to London. Walk quickly.
Yes, don't dawdle.
You will not last very long here if you walk
Especially
slowly.
if you're walking slowly in the middle of the pavement. That annoys me.
Like, because I grew up here, right? And my girlfriend grew up in Cornwall, so that we had very different upbringings.
Yeah.
When I go down to Cornwall to visit her family, we'll go for like a walk around the village, and I'll like
Power walk it.
fucking stomp around the village like we're walking down Regent Street, and everyone's like, "Can you just chill? Can you just calm down?" It's like something that's.
I do that,
It's
though.
something that's like drummed into you where you live here, where walking has to be really fast.
But most probably because when you're walking in London, you're walking with purpose to go somewhere. You're not sort of loitering around.
Dawdling.
Dawdling. Is it dawdling or dawdling?
Don't loiter.
Yeah, don't loiter. No, I walk with quite aggression.
You do, yeah.
Power walking, marching.
Chain smoking and stomping down the King's Road, looking
Yeah,
for
with my tag on and my nose piercing.
Dr. Motox. Is that what it's called?
That's what it's called. Okay, staying on the topic of London, the Underground is home to our very own species. This is start of the week. Sorry, I just read that quickly. Oh no, I had a fact for you. Mm-hmm. Okay, how many orgasms do you think the world record is that a woman has had in an hour?
What? How many orgasms has a woman had in an hour? An hour is 60 minutes. Maybe that's like one every 5 minutes. So that's like 12?
134.
134.
And the male record
How are they?
is 16.
16?
Yeah.
That's still high, isn't it? 134. How are
130.
they measuring that?
What do you mean measuring?
Is she just
She's
telling them?
orgasmed 130.
Yeah. And she's just saying, write it down. Or she's got a notepad next to her and she's noting it down.
Yeah.
Did they do that in like a controlled experiment?
No, I don't know. I just saw it.
Because if they did, I'd love to watch
Well,
that.
I bet you would, pervert. That's what everyone, when I did that masturbation May thing, and
Yes, I
there's,
remember,
there's a
yes.
demonstration. I think the amount of people who honestly thought I was going to have some woman lying on a table masturbating.
Well,
in front of everyone.
that's how you get the punters in, right?
Come on, boys.
It's masturbation May demonstration, and then they all arrive and they're all gutted.
Have you been to the box recently? Sorry. Something horrible happened to me once.
I have been to the box,
I
not recently.
I love the box.
You used to work there, right? As one
I
of the...
did on a Wednesday night. No, I did not. I went with my parents once.
Explain what it is to people who don't know.
It's a nightclub, but they have these sort of live shows, slightly crossing the line between sexual live shows.
I mean, they're fully sexual.
They're full sexual
live
shows. You're not allowed your phone on. Anyway, the first time I'd ever gone there, I went with my parents for an event. So obviously I didn't know what was going to happen.
What event?
It was a charity thing. And then I was standing there and Alice in Wonderland started going down on Snow White. And I was standing next to my dad and I was like, this is awful.
Oh my God.
My mum was behind dancing on the table. I was like, get her out. Like, it
Get
was
her
just
out.
intense. Anyway,
your mum was limbering up for her turn.
as we arrived at the box, the maitre d' person came out and goes, oh, Mr. Bentley, it's nice to see you again.
Stop.
My mum goes, what? It just turns out the woman also worked in a coffee shop in the city or something.
That sounds like a joke. That's like an old joke, isn't it?
No, seriously.
That's like
she
the old joke about the parrot.
Me and
from
all my
the
sisters
brothel.
went, what? Like, it was quite something.
Hello, Mr. Bentley.
Mr. Bentley, it's nice to see you again.
That's
you
so
old
funny.
creep. Anyway,
The box is good though.
the box is good. Actually, that's a great a London one. That's a good club to go to.
So what would would be your top 3 London sort of
You know what I
things
would
to
actually do?
Top 3 things to do or places to go.
I actually used to go and have breakfast at the top of the Shard, and the view from up there is obviously unbelievable.
When did you do that?
I just used to go and do it. There's a really nice restaurant up there.
What, on your own? You just go up?
No, not on my own. With an X,
The M&M World one.
different one.
I was going to say. Yeah, they
But
sound
that's
like
actually really
different vibes.
nice.
M&M World and the Shard don't really mix.
Two different guys.
We went for a date, me and Olivia, at the nice restaurant at the top of the Shard. It was very nice.
Yeah, what's that one called? That is, I would say that's quite a nice one to do. That, if you can go to the box, it's not really.
The box is
not
good.
Everyone's that cup of tea, but
Where else would you say you have to go?
I mean, but this is the thing. Most people coming here probably want to go and see like Buckingham Palace, don't they?
I'd actually like to do there's loads of like London attractions that I've never done. Like I've never been on one of those tours of Buckingham Palace. I've never been on the London Eye. Like
That's
all of those
quite surprising.
All
You
those
should-
things that you would do if you come and visit as a tourist. I've
Like
just never
Madame
done.
Two Swords, the London
Yeah,
Dungeon.
Actually, I've been to I don't get Madame Two Swords at all.
Well, it's just a load of waxworks, isn't it?
I
It's
just
not
don't understand the appeal of it.
The London Dungeon's quite cool.
Is that good?
Yeah, I remember doing that as a child. London does offer a lot.
Yeah, it's got loads of stuff going on.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay. Let's get on to stat of the week, which is on the theme of the underground. On the topic of London, the underground is home to our very own species of mice. They are very small, live underground, understandably, have no interaction with the above surface, and can be seen throughout the night. But can you guess roughly how many there are living across the London Underground?
I don't even know if I want to think
This is
about
not the
that.
same as rats. You know when you're on the Underground and you see rats running around? This is different. This is different. These are
How
underground
many?
mice.
Millions.
Okay, well, we'll come back and find out in part 2.
Oh, I hate rats.
Welcome back to Private Parts. You always jump when I do that.
Because it's the private parts bit that
yeah,
you like.
It's 2 P's, isn't it?
It's a lot.
There are... How many mice did you think there were living
Well,
on
I
the...
said millions.
That's not specific enough.
Okay, I reckon 500,000.
Okay. You're all right, fine. There are an estimated 500,000 mice living in the underground. However, they are not the only known animals to live in the tunnels. There is a species of mosquito on the underground, which started during the Second World War, when thousands would shelter in the tunnels. It's called Culex pipiens molestus. Is this a joke?
Molestus? You can't have molestus.
Is this some sick joke that you've written?
And it has a taste for
There's a mosquito called Pipiens molestus. I went to school with him, I think. Which has a taste for human blood.
These are made up. That can't be right.
Pipiens molestus is
Molestus is a horrible word, isn't it?
Olivia molestus. Olivia molest us.
So we have a lot to offer, don't we, really?
So really, that London has so much fun stuff to offer.
Basically, actually hang out around the tube a lot.
And if you're from Australia, which has got all those other like bugs, then,
black widow
then
spider.
you'll be used to all of that. You'll love all of that. Mosquitoes on the tube and all of that.
We offer the works.
We have a dilemma of the week. Shall I read it? We've got an email from Johnny, who's emailed us. contact@privatepartspodcast.com if anyone else wants to email. Dear Tom and Liv, me and my girlfriend sat down around the television this week in our cosy London apartment to watch an episode of Celebrity Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I immediately thought of you both when Jeremy Clarkson appeared on screen, after you had once quoted him to be a very unhealthy man when appearing in a box at the Royal Albert Hall for a James Blunt concert. That's true, I sat next to him.
You did.
Yeah. The first contestant was the presenter Richard Madeley, who began sailing through questions. That was until it came to sport. Madeley had previously admitted that sport was not his forte, and so he would have to rely on phone a friend, which incidentally happened to be his son-in-law. Jeremy Clarkson asked, "Are you sure you want to use your phone a friend?" To which Madeley replied, "Yes, let's call my son-in-law. Let's call James Haskell." I can't remember whether or not Haskell knew the correct answer, as all I could think of was that I wanted to write in to both of you to tell you about this wild encounter. Love the pod, Johnny. That's great.
That is great.
That combines our loves of Jeremy Clarkson and James Haskell.
Has he ever replied, got back to you? Nope.
No, he hasn't. We're still trying to get Haskell on. It will be a huge day when we finally get the big
I think it would be
Hask.
huge if he actually just responds to you.
All
Because
right,
it's
well, let's
becoming
not-
a
let's-
little needy.
Let's not get nasty.
Should we just ring him?
No.
Yeah. Give me your phone. You're such a nervous Nancy. Actually, I would never give you my phone.
Nervous Nancy? What are you, 85 years old?
Yeah. Sorry. I would say something else. I didn't want to lower the tone. Fucking pussy.
Okay, there it is. You've lowered the tone now. That's amazing. Haskell. I like the fact that people are sort of associating me and you with James Haskell now.
I'm just thinking, if we were on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, who would your phone a friend be?
You.
Don't do that. It'd be awful.
What would the question have to be for me to
Something
call
about
you?
sex or lube.
How many bottles of lube were discovered at rapper Diddy's mansion?
382.
I'm going to phone my friend Olivia Bentley.
She'll know that quantity.
Hi, Liv. Quick question. Diddy's mansion, how many? 1,000. Thanks, Liv. Bye. You'd be all over that. What question would you phone me to ask?
Oh,
Anything, really.
yeah.
I know a lot.
No.
General knowledge.
No, probably about sort of like English shit. Like something if there was a
English shit.
Shakespeare question or something.
Yeah, literature.
Yeah, that's the word.
Yeah. English.
Sorry.
What, a question about Shakespeare? You'd phone me?
Yeah, probably.
Really?
I feel like you'd know that
I'm
sort
not
of
sure
rub-
I'd be very good at that.
or poetry or something.
I like that you think of me like that.
I wouldn't ring you for sport.
You could ring me for some sport.
Oh no, I'd ring you. You'd probably know about. I don't know actually.
What?
You hang out in the Daily Mail showbiz section quite a lot, so maybe it's showbiz questions.
I do not hang out in the Daily Mail showbiz. I look at it as much as anyone looks at it,
Which is every day.
which is all the time.
Why is it? If I'm bored, I'll go on it.
There is no person in the world who doesn't occasionally look at the Daily Mail. It's like, it's just part of life.
Isn't it?
Unfortunately. You know, the Daily Mail website is the most viewed website in the world.
I'm kind of not.
It's got the most amount of hits of any website in the world.
I'd love to know how many hits a day it gets, actually.
A lot.
That's quite a good stat.
You would assume it might be something else though, like some porn website or something. But apparently, it's the Daily Mail gets the biggest traction.
What is that place?
That's why if someone's in the Daily Mail, everyone knows about it. It's just like it is probably people just know.
People love it. It's
Yeah.
just like daily gossip, isn't it? Okay, right. Dilemma of the week. Hi guys, I have a question for you and feel you both may have a good answer for this. Me and my husband have been married for 5 years and together for 3 before that. I'm usually the one to initiate intimacy in our marriage, and I'm tired of it being so one-sided. Today he told me that he just doesn't really feel like he needs to have sex like that anymore. I'm always left unsatisfied, and I feel he doesn't think about my needs. I'm not the cheating type, but I do want my needs met, and it feels unfair to stay in a marriage that leaves me feeling unwanted. What do you do when your sex drives differ? How do we or I move on happily from here? Open relationship counselling? I think it's that is a bit hard though, because I feel like I don't know what you really do.
I don't know because I've not been in a relationship for how long have they been together? 5 years. I would imagine the longest relationship I've been in has been 3 years. So, you do hear stories about people who have been married for like 15 years, and I guess that side of the relationship just changes a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it's but it's hard because I think with women always want to be like wanted.
Yeah.
And a big part of that is sex.
Yeah.
So if you don't feel that, I don't think I'd be able to stay in a relationship that was like that.
What if you felt like your boyfriend didn't want you anymore?
Yeah, I'd find it would just be hard. I think it would knock your confidence a lot.
Yeah. Do you think though that relationships change, like what's important in them changes over time?
Yeah, for sure. I think when you're first dating someone, you're in like that honeymoon phase, you kind of are at it like rabbits. But then obviously that does sort of slowly, it's not going to be like that forever. Well,
No.
it could be. But I am what I would do, I always try and, I think, it's like I think there's, well, I don't know how to explain this, so I can't even talk anymore. To keep it alive from the beginning onwards, I would always like, just keep like a bit of mystery there. Like I love the sort of like, naughty text messages, photo, like when you're in a relationship, like I love all that side of it, but you kind of have to like both work at that to keep it alive.
What, you mean you like that all the way through, even like 3 years in?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's good, but yeah, you like you say, you have to work on that, don't you?
Yeah.
Like that's not just gonna happen. But I don't know, like her question is, should I cheat on my husband? Because I don't think that's the answer, is it?
No, definitely not. I think you should say to your husband, listen, is this going to be a thing? But
Also feels quite. Also, I get where she's coming from, but it also feels like a sort of slightly mean reason to leave your husband.
Well, this is what I mean. If she's still madly in love with him,
Yeah.
she should say to him, listen, I'm feeling very sexually unsatisfied. If it's not going to be you, we don't have to get a divorce, but I need to basically get laid. So
that will almost definitely bring him out of whatever slump he's
yeah,
been in.
do it. I would just be honest about
That
it.
conversation, her basically saying, if you don't want to have sex with me, I'm going to have sex with someone else, I think would sort it out quite quickly.
Yeah, it would though, wouldn't it?
It would.
Because
Yeah.
you wouldn't want your wife going off with someone else.
No, I mean, you do hear stories about people who are in like open relationships and it works. But I can't imagine personally doing that.
No, I couldn't either. But I think everyone's different.
But I think some of those relationships are more like they're together. I do think they love each other, but they're also together for like practical reasons as well as.
But I think some people would find it incredibly hard.
They're almost like colleagues. They're like teammates. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there are some like really successful couples who are together because it just like works for both of them to be together.
But they both go off.
They might have children together and, you know, a business or whatever. So
I'm trying to imagine if I suddenly was like, I can't be asked to have sex anymore. I don't think I would let my husband go. I don't know though. I mean, maybe that's just the way I'm wired.
Have you ever like been in a relationship and thought
about inviting someone else into it?
No.
No.
I was gonna say if you go through periods of like having low sex drive.
It's
That can be quite normal, I think. as
yeah,
well.
very normal. I think it's also very different, but I think guys probably everyone is like stress is a massive thing.
It doesn't
People work-
necessarily mean that like you've fallen out of love with
yeah,
your
but I think
partner.
it's easy to think that that's what it is, and you think that you're the reason why. When guys like it's like if a guy can't get it up and stuff or whatever. Do we not? Speak?
It's also, no, but it's also true that like if you, I think as a guy, if you're like going through a period where you're feeling really stressed,
Sex is probably the last thing
it
in
can
your
be
mind.
quite difficult to like think about sex because you're just like overwhelmed with like other things.
Yeah.
And then I can imagine the girlfriend or wife being like, "Why don't you want to have sex with me anymore?" That I can imagine that being an argument.
Yeah.
But actually, it's nothing to do with her or the relationship.
I think try a bit of JMO. I'll send you a vibrator.
That's good advice. You always bring it back to the plug. For
But it's
Jomo.
true. That's why we made JMO.
Yeah.
It helps.
Why doesn't she try that and see if
Yeah.
that helps? Like my parents, for example, have been married for like 30 years and together for like 35 years.
They're still going at it?
I'm sure they're not, no. But I think what their relationship has turned into is just like they're like best friends with each other.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they still like, have sex. But I'm sure it's not what it was when they were in their 20s. But their relationship has just like turned into something else.
Yeah.
Don't you think that's quite nice?
Yeah, it is nice.
Yeah.
No, I don't think sex is like the be all of a relationship, but if you do need it, you
Yeah.
know.
That is difficult. I heard an interesting stat the other day that I thought you would be interested in. Apparently, couples who post less about each other on social media are statistically happier than couples who post about their partner more. So the more
I can see that.
the more a couple are putting up pictures of themselves, the less happy they are statistically.
I probably do agree with that. Because also,
we know lots of people who have like very public relationships. And
this is the problem with Instagram. I think it does look a bit fake. Like people portray their lives in a certain way when actually it's probably not quite like that.
it's definitely true that we know people who we know because we know them that their relationship is not going very well.
Yeah.
But if you just followed them on Instagram, you'd be like, oh, they have a perfect life.
But then because we were talking about this earlier, this is why I'm quite glad Stephen. Well, it doesn't make a difference that Stephen does or doesn't have Instagram, but I have never. I posted him once on my birthday as a story, but I probably wouldn't post him.
No, it's true, isn't it? It's true.
Do you post much of Olivia?
I did when we first dated. I did, but I haven't recently, and it hasn't had any impact on our relationship. It's not like if you're not doing that, the relationship's suffering.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I don't know. I think it's
a bit odd when people relentlessly post their partner on Instagram. I think it's a bit odd. I think it's a bit too much.
I just quite like the privacy of not doing that.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at Instagram though. Like I don't post where I am all the time or who I'm with and what I'm doing.
No.
Busy chuffing a ciggy back.
Yeah. Here's another stat that you might be interested in. Divorce rates are highest amongst female relationships. So apparently the most likely dynamic to get divorced is woman, then it's woman, and the least likely to get divorced is man.
Really?
Yeah. Apparently it's something really, really high, like 75% of lesbian marriages end in divorce, and it's something like 20% of gay male relationships end in divorce.
I'm trying to wonder why
Why do you think that
I
is?
don't know. I don't wonder why that would be. I wouldn't have said that. I would have actually thought it would have been a man and a woman.
What have the
Have
highest
the
rate?
highest, yeah.
Is it like 1 in 3 relationships end in divorce? Is it something like that? Which is quite high, isn't it? 1 in 3.
Your parents aren't divorced, are they? No, you're together,
No.
yeah, same.
1 in 3 seems high.
It does seem high.
If you were gonna sort of jump out of a plane and they told you that 1 in 3 parachutes wouldn't open, would you jump out of the plane?
Absolutely not.
So it seems like an odd thing to go into, knowing that that's the success rate.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Do you want to get married?
I think if I said, do you want to get divorced? I was like, yeah, of course I want to get married.
Do you?
Yeah, I don't want to get divorced.
No, but do you want to get married? Some
Yeah.
people don't even want to get married.
No, I do.
You
I
do?
do want to get married. I went through a phase where I wasn't that bothered by it, but I think I do. And I also didn't used to want kids, but I do now.
Do you?
Yeah.
Ah, that's very sweet.
Well, it's easier, isn't it, when you're in a relationship, so
Do
you
you
want
have something to tell us?
She's pregnant.
Because that would be huge.
42% of marriages end in divorce.
42.
42%, that's really high.
42% of marriages
But
end
do
in
you
divorce.
think people either get married too quickly or don't take the marriage seriously, so they do get divorced?
I think what the problem is now, and I don't want to sound like an old person, but I think divorce is like so common and so easy to do now.
Yeah.
That people just, if their marriage starts not working, they just go, okay, we'll just get divorced then. Whereas
Rather than
I think,
actually fixing it.
I think back in the day, people just would be like, okay, well, we're having a bad time, but let's try and fix it.
Yeah.
And then they would fix it. I do agree, though, that if you're in a genuinely miserable marriage, then just get
Yes.
divorced and get on with your life, because there's no point wasting your life in a bad. But I do think sometimes it's just like people just jump to divorce really quickly.
Yeah.
They're like, oh,
Treat it like a breakup.
We've hit a bad patch. Let's just get divorced. I have a big week coming.
Here we go.
I'm gonna move in with Olivia.
Are you?
Yeah,
Wait, you've only just moved into the last place?
I've been there for 3 months, 4 months.
And are you going to live, where are you going to...
We're getting a new place,
That's good.
so we're gonna get a completely new place.
This is
fresh,
quite exciting.
fresh start.
Where are
Yeah.
you going to look? Fulham?
I don't know if I want. It's gonna be south of the river.
You don't want people to know. That is quite exciting.
It's Gatwick Airport.
It's a hard shoulder.
When I say south of the river, it's very, very south.
Well, I'm very happy for you, Tom.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Have you lived with a girlfriend before?
I have.
Did it go well?
Well, we're not together anymore.
Thought so, but did it change things when they moved in?
It does change things, doesn't it? But not in a bad way. It just changes things. I'm excited about it.
I think it's very exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting. I think it's good.
Yeah. What do you like to live with? Are you quite messy? Is she
No, I'm
messy?
like psychotically tidy.
Are you?
Yeah.
That kind of surprised me.
Really?
Well, I didn't know. Sometimes you look a little bit scruffy, and I just sort of...
Do I?
Sorry.
Do you think I look scruffy?
You don't look scruffy. Well, like you sort of thrown the outfit on
Yeah,
from a heap of clothing.
that's true. Yeah, that bit is true. But if you were to come to my house, it's very tidy.
Actually, to be fair, when I went to your last house, it was very tidy.
It was very
What with all
tidy.
those colour-coded books?
That wasn't me.
I
that,
thought was
that
actually slightly creepy.
That was a little
on
bit
reflection.
Patrick Bateman, wasn't it?
It was a bit.
Yeah.
He's colour-coded
My
his
whole
cooking books.
that whole flat was quite Patrick Bateman, wasn't it? There was like an empty fridge, colour coordinated books.
Baking powder on a plate.
Yeah, there was, wasn't there? Yeah. Yeah. We'll leave that.
Well, not talk about
That
that.
was a happy time.
I think it's exciting, and then soon you'll be proposing, Tom.
Well, let's see. Who do you think will be first?
Well,
You statistically,
what, because of my age?
because you're a fair bit older.
Shut the fuck up. Not got much time left.
No, you want to fucking crack on.
Shut
I'm kidding. But yeah, I didn't think you were that fussed by that. So that's exciting.
What, that you were living together?
No, getting married. I didn't think
Oh.
you were that fussed by it.
I didn't. Oh, I really didn't used to be. And I went through this really big phase where I was like, I don't want kids.
You used to
It's
shout
so hard
that
to
a lot, didn't
I used
you?
to shout about it. I
You used
don't
to shout
fucking
it
care.
down the street.
It's annoying because I want to talk about it, but I can't. Like, it's
And
hard.
I used to
'cause
say, Liv, you can just talk. You don't have to shout.
shout to
I
everyone,
don't, want kids.
children.
Outside Bluebird. I don't want kids.
Sounds a fucking nut job. But yeah,
Yeah, it's exciting.
it is exciting. For
Hey, listen, it's all happening.
We're delirious. I think we should have that beer.
I think we're going to have a drink now, and we would advise listeners not to have a drink because it's early in the morning when this comes out.
Or do. It depends
Or do.
what sort of day you're
Depends
having.
if you're in employment.
And if you are, definitely have a drink. No,
If you are, then do. Thank you for listening. Private podcast on Instagram and all the social medias. YouTube channel for the full episodes. And it's worth watching this week because Liv is covered in pillows. So it's worth watching purely for her terrified body language. And she's fanning herself because she's sweating. So get on that YouTube channel. Contact at privatepartspodcast.com if you want to email. We will read out and answer questions. That's it, Liv. Any final thoughts?
Have a lovely day.
That's very sweet. Okay, goodbye.